Serena, let me. Since Julianne was declared dead after the river accident, you've been running this diner alone while carrying his child. No woman should have to bear this much.
Julian is gone, but this baby is still here. I will bring our child into the world. I promised him.
Shot at yours, Lex. The court declared him dead, Serena. Why are you still carrying a dead man's baby? Come with me. We're going to the hospital.
Mom, no! This is Julia's child. I won't give up my baby. My stomach, it hurts.
Just your luck.
A daughter. Julian, we have a daughter. Your father had this heart necklace made for us. One half says come, one half says home. One half for you, one half for Mommy.
Mom, what are you doing? Give her back!
Mr. Brooks from the processing plant can clear my debts if you marry him. This baby is dead weight. I'll get rid of it for you.
Mom, please! Give me my daughter back!
Madam Vale, we found out Mr. Julian had a widow. She is 9 months pregnant.
Julian left a child? That baby is the last direct blood of the Vale family. Bring them home, now.
Mom, where are you? Give me my daughter back!
Serena, I'm Julian's mother. What happened to you?
My daughter, Julian's daughter, she's gone.
Search the city, every station, alley, hospital, shelter. Find the Vale heir before dawn.
Yes, Madam Vale!
Serena will forget. I need this debt gone.
Hold on, is that a baby crying?
Who leaves a baby in a dumpster on a night like this?
Call it in. Let the police handle it. We shouldn't get tangled in this.
If I leave her here, she won't live through the night. Easy, little one. You're not trash. You're a life.
This year's pay, $10,200 every dollar.
Dad, sit down. I'll heat you a plate. What is that?
A baby girl. I found her by the West Yard dumpster. I called 911 and Child Services. The county opened a file, and I'm applying to be her legal guardian.
Dad, you're taking in a baby?
Have you lost your mind? Babies cost money. We barely get by as it is.
I'm not asking. I already made the call. If you'll have this old man as your grandpa, give me one little smile. There it is. Annie. Your name is Annie. You are going to live safe and sound. This came with you. Grandpa will keep it safe until we find where you came from.
Mr. Miller, emergency kinship placement is not automatic. A caseworker will visit, and the court must approve guardianship.
Then send them until the court says otherwise. This child has a roof, milk, and someone who will not throw her away.
Father just brought a lifelong burden into this house.
No child is a burden.
Aunt Britton, Annie is back.
Then stop staring and finish the laundry.
Go, horsey! Faster!
Toby, get off her! She is 5 years old!
Grandpa, don't be mad. Annie wanted to play horsey with Toby.
Your palms are bleeding, and you still say you're fine. Child, you're too good for this house.
Harris, Annie needs to start kindergarten. Could I get an advance? Just enough for school clothes, supplies, and after-school care.
Frank, I'd help if I could. But Val Group held back the West Yard contractor invoice, and the subcontractor hasn't paid our crew. This is what the crew is owed, $60,000. Pay stub, signatures, everything. Maybe take it straight to Val Tower before the land deadline passes.
Then I'll go. If the crew gets paid, Annie goes to school.
Annie can really go to school?
Yes, sweetheart. Grandpa will make it happen.
Eat while it's warm.
Grandpa should eat too.
Grandpad already ate.
Every day with Grandpa's is a happy day for Annie.
Seatbelt. We're going to Vale Tower to get what they owe us.
Grandpa, is this where they keep the money for the workers?
This is where the people who approved the job work. We ask politely, show the papers, and get what the crew earned.
Deliveries go around back.
We're not delivering, we're here about unpaid West Yard wages.
Grandpa, Annie isn't scared.
Good girl. Stay close. I'm here about the West Yard redevelopment invoice. Vale Group approved the work, but the contractor hasn't paid our crew. We have pay stubs, signatures, and a lead notice.
West Yard is my project. Do not let Chairwoman Vale or Madam Vale hear about this. Send him to my office.
Mrs. Vale, this is earned labor. Release the approved invoice, and the subcontractor can pay the workers.
The project had issues. Nothing gets released.
That's our blood and sweat money.
Go home and wait. Guards, escort them out.
Please don't hurt Grandpa. Grandpa is not bad.
My vase! That was 18th century French porcelain. $2 million!
Miss Annie didn't do it. You pushed Grandpa first.
I don't have that kind of money, but don't scare the child.
Then I'll file a police report and call Child Protective Services. Let them see what kind of guardian lets a child destroy Vale property.
Punish me if you must. Don't take Annie. She's only 5.
Grandpa, your leg is bleeding.
Hold them until security writes the report. If CPS comes, the girl leaves with them.
Grandpa!
Julian was declared dead after saving someone in that river accident. I keep telling myself our daughter must have inherited his blessing. She must still be alive.
Grandpa!
Stop!
Sweetheart, how old are you?
Annie is 5.
5. My daughter would be 5 too.
Annie has no mommy or daddy, only Grandpa.
I don't know why, but I like this child so much.
Serena, this child broke my $2 million vase. I was only handling it by the book.
Miss, Annie didn't mean to. Please don't take Annie away. Annie wants us to stay with Grandpa.
With me here, no one will bully you.
Let the child and her grandfather go home safely.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Grandma, nice lady. You are both good people.
Note if every pawn shop, auction house, and antique dealer in New Havenport. If the other half of this heart necklace appears, I want to know immediately.
His leg is fractured. He needs surgery. The upfront deposit is $18,000.
18,000? We don't have that.
Uncle Peter, Aunt Brendan, please save Grandpa.
I can find the money for surgery, but you send that burden away.
I'd rather lose this leg than lose Annie.
If Annie doesn't leave, Grandpa's leg won't get better. Grandpa, Annie had no mommy or daddy, only Grandpa. But if Annie stays, Grandpa's leg can't get better. Grandpa, Annie is leaving. Annie will miss you forever.
Frank, where's Annie?
Annie! Annie! It's freezing outside. I have to find my girl.
Kid, take these. Chicken and noodles. Eat before it gets cold.
Thank you, sir. Can Annie save the drumsticks for Grandpa?
Of course you can, sweetheart.
Grandpa is sick. Annie wants to save both drumsticks for Grandpa.
Little girl, it's snowing. Why don't you come with me? I'll find you a warm place.
Annie has to wait for Grandpa.
Annie! Annie!
Grandpa!
Where did you go? What if a bad man took you? What if I never found you?
Annie didn't want to drag Grandpa down. Annie picked bottles to pay for Grandpa's leg, and Annie saved drug sticks for Grandpa.
Silly girl. Grandpa doesn't need drug sticks. Grandpa needs you safe.
Annie will be good. Please don't send Annie away.
Never. Grandpa and Annie stay together, always.
Grandpa, eat this. If Grandpa eats chicken, Grandpa's leg will get better.
Silly girl. Grandpa needs you safe more than he needs chicken.
Mr. Miller, without the deposit, we cannot schedule surgery.
I told you. Money comes only if the girl leaves.
Grandpa, Annie has money.
No. That necklace has been with you since the day I found you. We don't touch it.
Grandpa is more important than the necklace. Annie wants to save Grandpa. Sir, can this get money? Annie needs to fix Grandpa's leg.
Where did you get this?
Annie had it since Annie was little.
The heart necklace Chairwoman Vale is looking for. It's here. Annie, we should go.
You again. First you break Vale property, now you steal Vale family jewelry?
This necklace has been with Annie since she was a baby. She stole nothing.
It's Annie's!
If Serena hears about this before I handle it, your shop is finished. Throw them out. And erase the storefront camera footage before Chairwoman Vale asks for it. Where's the child?
Miss Olivia's guards drove them away just before you arrived.
Olivia? Ask every storefront within 6 blocks for camera footage. Check bus stops, clinics, shelters, and have legal contact the police for traffic camera access. I want that child found.
Annie, this necklace may have something to do with your birth parents.
Does Annie have a mommy and daddy?
I don't know. But no matter what, I am still your grandpa.
Annie won't leave Grandpa.
Come on. We need to get you back to the hospital.
I'm sorry. Without payment today, surgery has to be postponed again.
The necklace didn't get money. What should Grandpa do? Mommy, Dobby, if you are jury looking for Annie, can you save Grandpa first? Please, nurse, can Grandpa have surgery first? Annie will pay when Annie grows big.
Sweetheart, I can't make that decision. It's this child again. Why does my heart ache every time I see her?
Nice lady!
What happened to your grandpa?
Grandpa's leg needs surgery, but Annie has no money.
Don't be scared. I'll help him.
The surgery can be prepared right away. Chairwoman Vale, I will pay you back. Every cent.
Heal first. Money can wait.
Nice lady, this is Annie's most important thing. Keep it first. When Annie grows up and earns money, Annie will buy it back.
Annie, who gave you this necklace?
Annie had it since Annie was little. Grandpa said it was with Annie when he found Annie.
Chairwoman, they fit. Come home. She's my daughter. Annie is my daughter.
Grandpa, the nice lady is good. When you get better, Annie will work and pay her back.
Daughter, Mommy finally found you. But how much have you suffered these past 5 years?
The surgery went well, but Mr. Miller needs rest. No walking around, no heavy work.
Mr. Miller, you and Annie can stay here. I'll handle the rest.
Chairwoman Vale, you've already done too much. We can't keep troubling you.
When Grandpa's leg is better, Annie will pick bottles and pay the nice lady back.
She is so sensible. It breaks my heart. Annie, can I take care of you for a few more days?
Where Grandpa is, Annie is.
Dad, since surgery is done, let's go back to Clearwood. City hospitals burn money.
The doctor said I need to rest.
Mr. Miller, leaving now is against medical advice. If you sign this MEA discharge, you accept the risks.
You can rest at home. And what does it look like keeping Annie in a hospital all day? Sign it, Dad.
Chairwoman, the legal team needs your signature now. Until the DNA report and emergency guardianship order are filed, I, Zonova C. Pleising, rather than now's no current and emergency guardianship order are filed, we cannot lawfully stop the household from leaving with Frank's signed discharge.
You said you could take care of him. Laundry, dishes, sweeping, all of it.
Brenda!
Grandpa, Annie isn't tired.
The buyer won't wait. Get the girl to the back road by the woods. No neighbors, no cameras.
Not here. Too many people know Frank keeps her. I'll send her out alone.
Through the lucky by a back road, working alone?
Annie, there is wild mite by the back road. Pick some for Grandpa's soup.
Will Grandpa like it?
Of course. Be quick.
Little girl, I know where the real medicine is. Come with me.
Grandpa says Annie can't go with strangers.
Stop moving.
Annie? What are you doing? Don't touch my brother! Toby, run! Hide, then call people.
Hey, stop!
Is Toby okay?
Mom, Annie saved me. The bad woman tried to take me, and Annie bit her.
Brendan, what did you do?
Grandpa, don't be mad. Toby is safe. That's good.
You little fool. Why do you always think of everyone else first?
The old man and the girl were here, but someone said they went back toward the city for temporary work.
That little girl had it rough. 5 years old, doing laundry, cooking, barely eating hot meals.
My daughter lived like this for 5 years.
Chairwoman, our people are checking the road to the city. Wherever she is, I am bringing her home.
I can sit, I can keep watch. I just need any light work until my leg heals.
You're post-surgery and dragging a kid around. I can't take that liability.
Grandpa, it's okay. Annie can eat less.
I failed you. I should have given you a better life.
Grandpa is the best. As long as Annie is with Grandpa, Annie is okay.
Madam Vale! Someone call an ambulance!
Give her air. She is diabetic. Don't pour water into her mouth. Does anyone have glucose gel?
Grandpa, sweet things help, right?
Only if she can swallow. Good girl.
Child, it's you again?
Grandma, you woke up. That's good.
Thank you, preacher. Thank you.
Why are you two out here? Shouldn't you be resting after surgery?
Looking for temporary work. We can't live off other people's kindness forever.
Grandma, don't blame Grandpa. Grandpa works very hard.
Then let Grandma return the kindness. Come stay at my home for a few days.
Madam Vale, we couldn't possibly.
You saved my life. Let me take care of you.
Grandpa, this house is bigger than Vale Tower.
From today, you may treat it like your own home.
Grandpa, why are they standing so straight?
Annie, don't touch anything.
If my good grandchild were still around,
They would be about the same age as Annie.
Grandma, who lives here?
This room was prepared for my lost grandchild. She would be 5 this year.
She must be very happy. So many people are waiting for her.
But Grandma never found her.
Grandma will find her. Annie knows it.
Then I will borrow your blessing, little one.
Eat it, Annie.
Grandpa gets the sweetest part.
Grandpa doesn't need it.
Before, Grandpa always gave good food to Annie. Now Annie gives good food to Grandpa.
Annie, when your real mommy finds you, Grandpa can finally stop worrying.
Annie won't leave Grandpa. Even if Annie has Mommy and Daddy, Grandpa is still Annie's grandpa.
Mom, I found the child I believe is mine. Her name is Annie, and she was raised by Frank Miller.
Annie? Yes. The necklace matches Julian's necklace exactly. The DNA test is being escalated, and Frank Miller's legal guardianship gives us a lawful path. But before I could bring her home safely, she disappeared again.
Madam Vale, the child you brought home is also named Annie.
Where is she?
Annie, sweetheart.
Nice lady?
Mommy found you. But I need one legal step before I say it in front of those people. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Chairwoman, Victor Vale is in the boardroom. He says if the little answeress cannot be legally verified tonight, Colin Vale should be adopted into the direct line.
Then we protect her the right way. File the emergency family petition. Bring the accredited lab representative and counsel. No one announces anything without proof.
I'll keep Annie and Frank in the sitting room.
Annie, there will be a noisy family gala tonight. You do not need to stand in front of anyone, and you do not need to prove anything. Serena will handle the adults.
But Grandma, can Annie help?
You help by staying safe with Grandpa Frank. That is enough.
Thank you, Madam Vale. Annie should not be used in a family fight.
She will not be used. She will be protected.
Victor's men have entered the manor.
Chairwoman Serena Vale will give the family its answer tonight. Until then, no child will be used as a weapon in this house.
No child or no proof. Serena is hiding because she has none.
Leave the child alone!
Look who they were hiding. I know her. She's the wage beggar's granddaughter.
I said no child would be used. Olivia, step away from her.
Grandpa?
She's not an heiress. She's a trash kid from Vale Tower.
A child from a wage dispute in the Vale family gala?
Please don't yell at Grandpa. It is Annie's fault.
Annie is not trash. I found her, yes. But she is kinder than anyone in this room.
Found her? Even better. A dumpster baby dragged out as proof of Vale blood.
So humble, so innocent. As if he didn't bring this child here to climb the social ladder.
If this so-called heiress cannot be legally verified tonight, Serena Vale has no standing.
You dragged a child into this room to seize power. Have you no shame?
Old man, take this stray child and get out.
Grandpa, your leg hurts. Annie will help.
Who dragged my daughter into this room?
Nice lady.
Not the nice lady. Mummy. Annie, Mummy finally found you.
Julian had this split heart necklace made for me and our unborn child.
A necklace can be forged. That is why Frank Miller signed for a cheek swab this afternoon.
Renicomovia fallenouch weighted consent receptor Israeli mantral. The report comes from an accredited lab with documented chain of custody. Based on the expedited maternity test, the preliminary maternity match confirms Serena Vale as the biological mother of Annie Miller. In the emergency family petition, Ann Vale is only a temporary filing name. Any final legal name change must follow a court order. The formal petition is already underway.
Annie is my daughter and Julian Vale's daughter. She is the true lost child of the Vale family.
My little girl. Grandma finally found you.
Grandma, Annie is really your family?
Yes. Mommy searched for you for 5 years.
5 years ago, my daughter was thrown into a dumpster on a snowy night. Frank Miller found her, took her home, and named her Annie. For 5 years, he suffered so she would not freeze. He went hungry so she could eat.
He was humiliated over unpaid wages because he wanted her in school. Even with a broken leg, he protected her first.
Chairwoman Vale, I only saw a child who needed help. Anyone would have done the same.
No, not anyone. You saved my daughter. You saved my life.
Chairwoman Vale, please don't. I can't accept this.
I kneel as a mother. Thank you for raising my daughter.
Mr. Miller, you are the man who saved this family.
Grandpa, Mommy found Annie, but Annie doesn't want to leave Grandpa.
You won't. We will repay Grandpa together.
Long-term malnutrition, exhaustion, and emotional shock. She needs rest and proper meals.
Mommy came too late.
Are you really Annie's mommy?
Yes. And Mommy will never lose you again.
Mommy.
Mr. Miller, are you leaving? Annie found her real mother. I should step aside. She deserves a good life, not a burden to look back on.
Mr. Miller, you cannot leave.
Chairwoman Vale, Annie is a Vale child. I won't cling to your family.
You are not clinging. You are family.
Without you, there would be no Annie to bring home. From now on, I will care for you, and Annie will love you and take care of you too.
Grandpa, don't go. Annie will eat
Grandpa won't go. As long as Annie wants Grandpa, Grandpa stays.
Annie, you don't have to choose between Mommy and Grandpa. You have both.
Then Annie has a home.
Olivia Vall withheld the approved West Yard contractor payment, helped create wage theft against the crew, hid false subcontractor invoices, destroyed worker records, framed a 5-year-old child, and claimed a $2 million antique bust that never entered company limitory. Effective immediately, Olivia Vale is terminated. She will never again be employed by Vale Group. Her misconduct will be referred to law enforcement. Today, we release an emergency wage fund for every West Y'all worker.
Serena, I know I was wrong. Please, we're family.
Family does not erase the law.
Serena, don't mistake one DNA report for absolute control. The board still needs stability.
My daughter is verified. My husband named me his legal successor. Your excuse is gone.
Then let us hope nothing happens to your reputation, cousin-in-law. A chairwoman can fall faster than a stock price.
Colin, watch your mouth.
Watch Colin. He won't stop here.
Mommy, do the bad uncles hate Annie?
No, sweetheart. You did nothing wrong. Some people are cruel because their hearts are bad.
Annie doesn't need to be scared. Grandpa is here.
Annie will protect Mommy and Grandpa too.
Julian, if you were still here, our home would finally be whole.
Cousin-in-law, tonight's partner, trusts me more than a grieving widow with a child scandal. If you lower your head, I may leave you some dignity.
Colin, you are not worth lowering my eyes for.
Grandpa, that uncle looks like Daddy in the picture.
What?
Julian?
Ma'am, I think you have the wrong person.
Your name is Julian Vale. You are my husband.
5 years ago, you disappeared after saving someone from drowning.
5 years ago, I woke up in a hospital out of state. No memories, no papers. People here know me as Ethan Shaw.
I checked the hotel records. Harbor Grand's former owner found him after the river accident and paid for his treatment.
With no ID and no memory, he was registered as Ethan Shaw. Later, he helped save the hotel from bankruptcy and took over management.
Uncle, look. Mommy kept this photo.
My head hurts.
Julian!
I'm sorry. I don't know you.
He is alive. If he remembers the river accident. My father and I lose everything. Tonight, isolate Serena in the penthouse and stage a scandal. Photos, witnesses, leakered headlines. If the board believes she hid her missing husband while chasing hotel deals, Val Group will fall into my hands.
And Ethan Shaw.
Keep him away from her. If he starts remembering, we handle him too.
Cousin-in-law, this time no one will save you.
For Vale Group's future, one drink is not too much, is it?
Contracts are won by strength, not alcohol.
Chairman Vale, we do value sincerity.
Chairwoman, are you all right? Something is in the drink. Preserve the glass, call security quietly.
Cousin-in-law, let me take you somewhere to rest.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me.
5 years, Serena. You've been guarding Julian's empty name for too long. After tonight, the board will call you unstable, immoral, and finished.
Grab her! Get the photos first! Annie, don't come here. Call security. Tell Grace the glass is evidence.
Mommy is in danger!
Butler, call 911. Tell hotel security to seal the penthouse floor and preserve every camera.
Send every guard we have. And tell Grace not to let anyone touch that glass.
Grandpa, Annie has to find Mommy.
Grandpa will take you, but you stay with me. No running.
Serena, you lost.
Julian.
Touch her and see what happens.
Are you really Julian Vale?
I don't know who I am, but I know you are not a good man.
Mommy! Daddy, you saved Mommy. You are Daddy.
Serena, come home.
Julian, it's okay if you can't remember. You're alive. That's enough.
This is a misunderstanding! I did nothing! A misunderstanding!
Colin Vale, you are under investigation for drugging, attempted unlawful confinement, extortionary staging of a public scandal, and corporate fraud. You need to come with us.
Colin, what did you do?
You and your son hurt this family again and again. This time, no one can protect you.
Why are you alive? If you remember the river accident, my father and I lose everything.
Maybe I came back to remember exactly that.
His memory loss appears connected to the old head trauma. Strong emotional triggers may bring fragments back.
Julian, I'm your mother.
I'm sorry. I still can't remember.
Daddy, this is the heart necklace you gave Mommy and Annie. Mommy said you wanted us to come home to each other.
Come home. Serena, our child. Serena, I had this split heart necklace made for you and our baby. One half says come, one half says home. One half for you, one half for our child. You two are my whole world.
Then the three of us will always come home to each other.
Always.
No police until we know what he saw.
If Julian lives, he'll tell the board about the West Yard books and the Shell invoices. I remember. I am Julian Vale. Reopen the river accident case. Victor and Colin knew I was alive in the water. They delayed the call because of West Yard's false invoice.
I'll send the statement to the police and the board tonight.
Daddy?
Annie, Daddy is home.
Julian, we waited 5 years for you to come home.
I'm home, and I will never leave again.
Annie finally has Mommy and Daddy.
Mommy will never let you suffer again.
Daddy will never leave you and Mommy again.
What about Grandpa? Will Grandpa always stay too?
Yes. Grandpa Frank saved you, and he saved our family. I will look after him like my own father.
5 years ago, the Vale family lost a child. 5 years later, Frank Muller brought our daughter safely back to this world. The river accident case is reopened. Victor Vale is suspended from the board pending investigation, and all West Yard Shell invoices have been turned over to law enforcement.
Starting today, Vale Group will establish the Annie Foundation, dedicated to abandoned children, injured workers, and elderly caregivers in need.
Grandpa, don't hide. You are the best person.
Mr. Miller, thank you. Would you be willing to have one more son? Mr. Provic, thank you.
Mr. Vale, I can't accept that.
From now on, we will care for you, and Annie will look after you too. You are not a guest. You are family.
Grandpa, please say yes. Annie will always be Grandpa's granddaughter.
All right. Grandpa says yes.
I'm just an old worker. Living here, I worry I'll trouble everyone.
You saved Annie. That means you saved my life too. This is your home now.
Madam Vale, Peter Miller, Brendan Miller, and their son are here.
I nearly forgot about them.
Let them in.
Dad, Annie really lives with the Vale family now?
Annie is Julian and Serena's biological daughter.
Annie, Aunt Brendan was wrong. I shouldn't have kept food from you. I shouldn't have made you work. And I should never have treated you like a burden.
Dad, I failed you as a son. I saw too much and stopped too little.
Annie, I'm sorry. Thank you for saving me. Mummy, will they become good people later?
This family will not excuse cruelty. Brenda has already given the police everything she knows about the woman who tried to take Annie. The criminal case remains open. Probation, community service, parenting classes, and child safety monitoring are court supervision, not a private family settlement. The final sentence belongs to the court.
We also remember what Frank gave Annie. If you truly want to change, you will do it through years of honest work, not through begging a child for forgiveness. We are opening a diner in the city for Frank. Peter may work there under supervision. Brenda may not work near Annie until her court conditions allow it.
I will cooperate with the police. I will serve every hour the court orders. I know Annie owes me nothing.
Dad, I'm sorry. I should have stopped her long ago.
If a person can change, there is still a road. But Annie does not owe anyone forgiveness.
Toby, this time we eat together.
Frank, good people really do get good endings.
I only did what anyone with a heart should do.
This diner is under your name, Frank. Not as charity, as a thank you from our family.
Peter may work here only as an employee under supervision. His wages come from labor, not from your kindness being taken for granted.
I won't ask Frank for another penny. I will work, pay rent, and finish every parenting class.
Dad, can I help wash dishes?
Work first, words later.
To Grandpa Frank, 5 years ago you gave Annie a home. 5 years later, we give you one.
We will remember your kindness for the rest of our lives.
May good people live safe and well.
Grandpa, 5 years ago you saved Annie. From now on, Annie will repay you.
Grandpa doesn't need repayment. Grandpa only wants Annie safe and happy.
Mommy, this should never be split again.
Never again. Our family will never be separated again.